as a business leader of one of the biggest German Mittelstands, would you say that there is a direct cause and effect link between what post-war Germany was and to what it is today, the third largest exporter and the fourth largest economy in the world? Would you say there is a direct cause and effect?
The facts and the figures for post-war Germany says it all. And there is a big learning for India in this as well. I mean, today there are approximately 3.5 million Mittelstand in Germany, and they account for almost, I would say, about 95% of the legal entities, and they sort of almost generate 1/3 of the turnover of all German companies, and they do have a decisive impact on both the economy and the society, I would say, because and they are the key drivers for research, development, and innovation. And why do I say this? Because almost 60% of the employees who want a career, who want social security, who want the fullness of their own education, and this is cross-generational, and the German Mittelstand provides that, and that's why the German Mittelstand is so important to the fundamental of post-war Germany. So from that perspective, I would say that yes, from an economic perspective, across industry, and this is not only from an automotive perspective, but I know, for example, companies like Simrise or industries in I would say people who are making lenses or in chemical industry. I know many companies who have really built world-class businesses. These businesses tend to be either making manufacturing parts or components or even the final product. And that's where they closely align themselves with the customer and solving customers' problem, going wherever customers goes, whichever parts of the geography the customer goes. It's almost like a train the Mittelstand companies would follow.
What about the rest of the world in this context? Would you say, like you were mentioning about Japan and South Korea earlier, would you say Mittelstands have had this similar kind of an impact on these economies as well?
The concept of Mittelstand works well when there is a small and medium enterprise coming together, which is really has to be in a symbiotic relationship with the different stakeholders to make the business a success. And that's what, and of course that includes policy, government, and all of that as well. And that's what makes a Mittelstand a success. While Mittelstand, there are forms of Mittelstand, I would say, even in India. In my own experience and some of the supply base that we have had have adopted the Mittelstand model in their own small way. Or some of the German companies, I mean, we have formed a joint venture with one of the Mittelstand in India and very successfully. And they are trying to adopt and bring some of the ethos of Mittelstand. But if you look at Japan and Korea, there are other forms. They may not be a like-to-like replica, but for example, if you look at the Keiretsu model, again, a large elements of what you see in a Mittelstand is also you would see in a Keiretsu model. Again, these are family-owned, where ownership and leadership and management is absolutely integrated, extremely close to the customer relationship. So, for example, if you take the Hyundai in South Korea or the Toyota or the Mitsubishi, these are the big mega industries in the respective countries, and they have a whole lot of Mittelstand-like companies, which they call as the Keiretsu, which they go along. So if you talk about Toyota production systems, all of the Keiretsu within the Toyota system will follow the same principles. So there is a very integrated supply chain network that works. And similarly, when many of these big industrial houses move across the world, lock, stock, and barrel, the entire Keiretsu will move. And you would see that, I mean, very close to Bangalore in Anantapur, where the Kia has set up its, I mean, right, they come bag and baggage right from not only the Kiritsu and the supplier base, but the restaurant, the groceries, and everything follows them. This is nothing but maybe in a different term, but Mittelstand in a certain sense, to say that yes, how do you write from a big machine or a big component to a pin? How do you bring the same principles, the same quality mindset, the same productivity levels to drive world-class performance?